Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flat Thunder channel. My name's Andy, and this is my C750 project. Make sure you get your safety mask and your gloves. I'm going to lop off what's left of this old rusted out dump bed that's no good anymore. So we're going to get all this scrap off of here. This is the factory original carburetor, manufactured by Holley, obviously, for Ford, and it has a governor built in on it. So I'm going to try to clean all the crap off of this before we start disassembling it to rebuild it. There you have it. I usually set it on a piece of cardboard just like that so the cardboard can absorb all the solvent and all of the nasty grease and stuff that comes off of it. It's not perfect, but seeing here a bunch of the dirt, grease, and nasty buildups off of there, so that'll help give us a little bit cleaner environment for taking this thing apart. Now we're going to start disassembling it so we can completely rebuild it. Now this is going to be a learning curve for me too, because I've never taken one of these carburetors apart. This right here is the float seat for the bowl. And looking at this, now I know why I couldn't get this to seal. There was an O-ring in there, at least I saw one on the new one. So that missing O-ring right there was not allowing us to adjust it, so that must have disintegrated. The screw over here is the height adjustment. You don't want to drop that down in the intake valley like I did. That was a nightmare trying to find that. It's gonna have to get scraped out of there. I was worried these would have to be saved in position, but both of them, the left and the right, are stamped with the number 67 on the OD, which I believe is probably the size of the jet. Pretty sure this is where Pretty sure this plate, well obviously now, it's held on with the same 4 screws that hold the bowl on. And I believe they call this the mixture plate. This guy in the middle is the power valve. There's all kinds of porting behind this. To make sure we get the right gasket. This is like a vent. I'm guessing this assembly here is all part of the governor. There's a spring in there. It's attached to a diaphragm. You can still hear the diaphragm pulling vacuum, so it's probably still good. Was good until it wrapped around that screw. Got an E-clip in here. Not good anymore. Can't get this housing off of here unless I take off this linkage for the governor. This thing's pretty loosey-goosey. I think this is worn out. So we got that little dog leg. It looks like we got a brass washer. This guy with some type of bushing, and that's pinned together. So we got these, which are some type of adjustment screws. I assume this is some kind of idle air mixture screw, but I could be wrong. So we're just going to count as we unscrew these so we can try to put them back in the same spot. 3.5, 4. Now the only way we can take this guy further apart is to remove these butterflies and slide this shaft out. It just has this E-clip here holding it in, but I don't think we need to do that. It doesn't feel worn out. It feels pretty solid in there. I already replaced this previously with a universal accelerator pump from Napa to try to see if we can get it to work before rebuilding the whole thing, but it wasn't happening. This stopped the leak, the massive leak we had at the bottom here from the first video, but the carburetor still wasn't working properly. Not sure what that big screw in there is. Got a brass seat inside there, so that's some type of valve that sprays gas out of these two nozzles. Okay, now I can get down in there and remove this gasket better. Well, we almost missed a spot. What's this guy? I have no idea what that is. It's got this strange looking plug on it. And something in there. Feels like it's spring loaded of some sort, but doesn't want to come out. There she comes out now. There's a spring down there and this strange looking valve. There's the spring. Need to get all the old gasket material cleaned off of these. I don't know about you guys, but I had razor blades, I had extra fine micro polishing paper, 600 grit paper, moved down to 220 grit wet sanding paper, and I'm just having a hell of a time because these raised edges and different cavities, getting that old gasket material out of there. So I gave up. I'm gonna try a brass brush on the end of this Dremel tool. Just gonna see what happens. I have my Berryman's B12 Chem Dip. This is obviously a can, and you dip your components in there to let them soak. And I really like this method of carb cleaning. I don't know if we can fit all these pieces in here. Last time I had to do a big carburetor, I ended up using an old Tupperware and buying a bulk batch. Nice if I can fit this whole guy in there. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. Oh, she's in. I'll just have to do this base plate here on another round. That'll go in there and we can dip the little pieces and parts. We'll let that soak for several hours. We'll take it out and then we'll continue the cleaning process. The inside of this bushing is egged out. It's, oblong in this direction because of wear. And I have a piece of brass over in the lathe and we're going to try to make a new one of these. This is where that arbor press sure would come in handy. Here she is. Now I can measure it to try to make a new one. Oh yeah. New bushing installed. Here's the old one. It's all nice and shiny in there. Put a couple indentations in there. Not gonna lie, I hammered it in with a socket because I don't have an arbor press. That's still loose. I expected that. Okay, everyone. This Holley 2-barrel carburetor, 2300 series with a governor, factory Ford from a 1962 332 Ford Y block, is all back together again. Yeah. Everything looks like it's good to go, and we're ready to put it back on the engine. Looks a heck of a lot cleaner. Key takeaways from this: the fast idle plunger right there. Be very careful. That's inside this housing, but it can fall out, as it did with me. I knew it was loose, but like a dummy, I carried it with it in there, dropped it in the shop, and spent several hours crawling around looking for it. Didn't actually find it. I didn't actually find this little guy until I gave up looking and was ready to quit, because I thought it was just impossible to find. Luckily, I found it in the middle of the shop floor just by chance when I wasn't even looking for it. So that to me is a sign this carburetor in this truck is meant to run. Otherwise, I would have never found that. So got that back in where it's supposed to be. Our new bushing that we manufactured on the lathe is in, and the linkage is free to rotate and not all loosey-goosey like the original one was. I'm gonna get some glue and glue our sticker back down. Actually gonna leave that off so I don't lose it. Glue our sticker back down, but other than that, she's ready to rock and roll. They really helped me out finding the right kit for this, even though they didn't offer it. They set me up with the correct part number and even showed me where to buy it. It was from Mike's Carburetor shop. From this company right here. And they had it in stock, and I got it in very short order. It came from Washington, and I think it only took 4 or 5 days to get here to the Midwest. This is the gasket and what it's supposed to look like that we removed. It's the paper unit. I don't think it's torn. This is the gasket that came with it. It's like a thicker material, double layer thick, maybe like a heat isolation deal, and that's too thick. Makes my studs too short. So I don't like it. I'm just gonna reuse the old gasket for now. This is a horrible idea, but right now I don't have a better solution that will allow us to keep moving forward. So we're just gonna roll with it. If it leaks, it leaks. We'll have to take it back off, silicone it, or make a new one. Don't really want to silicone it because you got ports down here. So yeah, this isn't gonna work with these studs. Either work or it won't. Only way to find out is to try it. Oh, when it's coming out. So I'm gonna remove this screw ever so carefully. And I didn't drop it. Yay. Okay, I'm gonna turn my fuel on now. My fuel tank. Drop my gasket scraper down on the ground. Okay, the fuel is on. The bowl should be filling up, and we should be looking for fuel coming out of there. So I'm going to, this screw is loose, this is a lock screw, and this hex, I'm going to slowly rotate this until we see fuel coming out of there. That didn't go as smooth as I thought it would. The float might be a little sticky. Oh yeah, let's dump gas all over. Sweet. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flat Thunder channel. My name's Andy. I got my cool bib coveralls on over top of my regular work clothes. Stepped outside. It's a beautiful rainy day here, overcast, and we're getting a little wet. The cool part about a Cabover, you don't get rained on underneath the cab. You whack your head on it all the time, but you don't get rained on that much. So it's the next day. Yesterday we finished up the rebuild on the carburetor. It's all back together again. Slapped it back on the engine. Now we're gonna see what she can do. Hopefully she runs. idea those were telescopic cylinders. Wow! Probably low on oil, but it goes up a lot more. Wow, look at those hydraulic cylinders. I had no idea that they were telescopic. It has a lot more that can go up. That can extend way up higher. I never checked the hydraulic oil. It's probably low, and I should have done that. I wasn't overly concerned because ever since we started it the first time, the PTO was engaged, so whatever was in there was getting churned up and pumped anyway. So, but look at that, isn't that awesome? So now I gotta try to get those to come down. Looks like this cylinder has some marring on it. Take you over and show you. So that is a big cylinder. Look at that. Big main telescopic. It's got some marring here where somebody hit it with a chain or something, or dumped something on it. I'm actually gonna file that before we try to shove it back in. Then here's the second part. Oh, look at that. Now that has a lot more that can go up, so this would make for a really good dump. Now don't go getting excited on me here. Just checking for damage spots. This one feels pretty good. Now if that other one over there didn't have that massive mar on the outside, it'd be real nice. It'd probably work just fine if you filed it down so it doesn't tear up your lip seal. It's only a single direction cylinder, it just pushes up, gravity's down. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh boy. I'm over here polishing my rod and listening to the neighbor talk in her living room so loud that I can hear her talk about people breaking up and relationship drama, yada yada. This is one of those moments where, you know, you really appreciate your wife and that you're married. You don't have to deal with that crap anymore. Sounds heated. Don't mind me, I'm just sitting here polishing my rod. Be handy if she could dial her down a little bit. I hope you don't catch that on the... Sounds like she's outside right next to me. Man. Hope you don't catch that on the videos. Peel this vent cap off of this hydraulic tank. See what it looks like in there. This pipe wrench is wanged. Did that on Project Big MF. There we go. What's the chances this is going to be clean oil in there? Well, it looks like oil. Doesn't look too hateful. Probably got some moisture in it. But like I said, we already pumped it through there. Let's see if I got any oil in there and top this off just for funsies to see how far this lift will go up. We got this tank topped off. It took about half of a 5-gallon bucket, maybe a little bit more. I don't think it's necessarily full, but I didn't really want to go putting a whole 5-gallon jug in here just for this experiment. So we're gonna fire back up, lift it up, and measure how long those cylinders are. Holy crap, they're triples. 1, 2, 3. Triples. Now that's a dump angle. Wow. Yeah. Raising it up. Well, if Operation Cabover, this truck needs a nickname. I need to come up with a good nickname for it, but she has to earn it. I haven't come up with a good one yet. The lift is up. The cylinders are triple telescopic cylinders, so it has 3 separate rods inside each other. And look at that tilt angle. Kind of curious what that is. Need to get this thing down. Going down. Uh-oh. She stalled out on us. Come on, baby. Uh-oh. Ford C750. She runs and idles now. We don't have any of the linkages set up yet, and we have a little bit of a fuel delivery problem because this small tank isn't feeding the carburetor bowl fast enough. So if we get that addressed, I think this baby will run really good. I mean, I didn't even tune it up yet, so it sounds like it's going to be a good engine. Got the lift going. That's awesome. I mean, it just, look how cool that is. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave your questions and comments in that section below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everyone.